Welcome back. This is a bonus version for our digital and online platforms of tackling youth violence, a community discussion. Of course, the discussion didn't end as our broadcast ended. We really appreciate your candidacy, your advocacy, and your passion. And I think that's felt that, like we said, everyone has the same idea, same goals here in helping Albany become a safer and better place. We have Tayshawn Murdoch, we have Eva Bass, Pastor Charlie, we have Lukey Forbes and Jesse Sommer all with us here to continue this conversation. And I will provide the perspective here from the side of the officials. Of course, as we mentioned at the top of our program, they could not make it for one reason or another. We did receive statements, and this is in confluence with some of the things that were released in terms of the statements and the words spoken in the days following the July 4th violence of what the city does. Because I think that there's been a lot of questions as to the resources and the programs that are involved. So here's what the city has said, of course, in the last couple of weeks as to what they have invested in. So I want to provide that perspective and for everyone to react to that accordingly. So the city says they invest $3 million annually in a variety of programs, nationally recognized summer youth employment program, a new year-round youth employment program. They work with My Brothers and Sisters Keeper, Youth Build. They work with the New York State Gun Violence Prevention Programs. I believe that's a reference to GIVE, career trainings, things of that nature. $25 million to the new Lincoln Park Pool, $20 million to the Albany West Community Center and Albany South Recreation Center. They talk about basketball and soccer camps, talk about a lot of different partnerships with Albany Police, with the YMCA, the Police Athletic League, Men on a Mission, a couple of those different programs. The To Reach and Connect program is also a big one for them. Albany County talked about their trips to the Boys and Girls Club, CPR classes at the College of St. Rose, along with the money that they allocate through Raise the Age and $500,000 from the county to help their parks and things of that nature. So that's what we have been told over the course of the last couple of weeks. So there's some of the initiatives they've taken, and I think the question would be, why does that not go far enough for all of you? Obviously, you've all reached you've put out these frustrations, these opinions or thoughts, I should say, of why this isn't enough. Why is that not the case? Everything I just read, what's missing there?
Who wants to take this?
Oh, me go? Because I'm going to speak up. First of all, you got to stop using grassroots organizations and efforts as, like, Men on a Mission is a community-based effort. Like, you may partner with them, but that doesn't mean that's what you're doing, right? Because you're not funding it the way you say you are. Right. At the end of the day, Summer Youth Employment Program, although there are a lot of discrepancies, is a plus. Workforce development is a plus. Recreation center is a plus. However, the recreation centers are not accessible to the community. I see kids that are countlessly shut out and not have any place to go because of the way they look or they don't want to deal with them. That's a problem. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, what's missing is proper collaboration with the city of Albany, and that is something that really needs to happen.
And the other piece is this. The city can't have a bully approach. Oh, I have this big new pool. Now you use the pool on my terms, right? There's this new thing where you have to sign up in order to get into the Lincoln pool that we invested so much money into. But what about the people that don't have access to technology? What about the kids that don't have access to phones? Do they get, and those are some of our hard-to-reach kids.
Or their parents won't sign them up, so they can't even access the pool because they're not registered.
Right, and so, here's the thing. I just think, and it goes back to what I said at the initial onset of this, is that the city feels like it's all about me, 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 me. I'm doing. I have to be the shining light. We're the municipality. When the truth is that these issues that we are seeing, especially with youth, have to be approached from a team effort and a team mindset. And community organizations can only do but so much teaming before they run out of the ability to continue. People burn out. People get stressed out. This work that we all do here is not an easy job. When you continue to see kids come in hungry, when you continue to see communities come in with issues from the police department, because I'm going way larger, and they're not resolved, and public officials don't answer their phone, right? Then you can tell me that you do all of that, send out mailers, but as I said on the news last week, when people don't see results and they don't feel it, you can put all of that on paper, but it means nothing.
Right.
Tom, if I could, because we have an outgoing administration, one of the things that I think is really important is that there were successes. I can't list them offhand, but I know that over the course of 12 years, there must have been.
Okay.
And I think that Mayor Sheehan deserves a huge amount of credit for those successes. What I think the problem is that I don't need to hear them enumerated. Clearly, whatever the mailer that went out detailing those successes that I acknowledge, I don't remember them. What I need to see is, yes, you've put the millions here and the millions there and the millions here and the millions there. I need to hear that you acknowledge that there yet remains a problem, because the likely administration that's coming in at the end of the year is largely the same administration. At the very least, it's the people that have been there before. You've got the same treasurer. It's the same potentially president of the Common Council. It's someone who's been previously in government. I want to know that the existing administration is leaving not by saying what we've done, but here are the things that yet need to be done.
And we can't celebrate. I'm sorry, I'm going to jump in. We can't, I hear celebrate the few things that the mayor has done. People are dying. People don't have housing. The South End, I work in the South End. The South End looks horrible.
A war zone.
Right? And so...
So does Arbor Hill.
And the community, I'm going to tell you right now, the community could care less about... It's like a football team. Let's go to the NFL for a second. The NFL, when you're a coach, right, they've fired coaches that have won multiple games and lost 3. Because at the end of the day, there was something that they didn't like in that coach. In this case, the mayor could have won 7 games. But
the problem is that it's not about the mayor. This is what I'm trying to tell you.
It's deeper.
You're giving her too much credit, and it's not about her. She is temporary. She is charged with the responsibility to properly manage our city, to make sure the funds are properly allocated to solve our issues.
I'm going to tell you, yes, but it's the position, and I hear you. But what I'm trying to tell you is the mayor for the last how many ever years
12 years
has not done anything that has pushed us any further. It's only pushed us backwards.
Yeah.
In the South.
I agree.
And so that's where I'm going at, because we're talking about the track record of the mayor.
Right.
And I'm saying to you, I hear you, you're right. We've only gone backwards.
Yeah.
Because we give her too much power.
I want to throw out
we
that
shouldn't-
there's a real pushback against our young people right now that is not really being talked about. And the way that our public officials really talk about this issue is only with criminalization. And we have to remember that while we're talking about this, they are deciding to not invest in these areas that has historically been uninvested.
That's right.
So regardless of you spending $25 million here, $3 million here, we have seen historically that the disconnected young people, and I believe it's like 40% of Albany actually have access to internet. Yeah. When we're looking at the historically disconnected people not being serviced by any of these things, the YMCA charging $10 for a membership, when we're seeing all of these things constantly push our people out, and none of the disconnected youth that we are constantly not meeting, why are we still funding the same thing as if that's golden?
Yeah.
We're not talking
let me
about
say this.
creating something new.
Absolutely. Let me say this. You wanted to read that list. Accomplishments, whatever. Listen, this was funding that was going to the capital of New York. Funding that anybody could have just said, oh, we're going to do the pool, we're going to do this. That needed to be done for years and years and years.
And we pushed it off, by the way.
Right. And so here it is. Here's your list. Here's your list. But now I know 30 more organizations that are in the war zones that are trying to make a difference, and 0 is given to them, and none of these officials want to be at this table. You know why? Because of who's here. Because we're here. They don't want to be, because they know we're going to speak truth, and we want to make a difference.
Well, and I just want to, because Lukey said potholes, since we want to talk about potholes.
We're going to talk about potholes.
The mayor said a couple years ago in her State of the City that they have filled 95% of potholes in the city of Albany.
We have sinkholes.
And we have sinkholes.
I love the fact that we're talking about that right now because the Common Council literally took the legal obligation out of See-Click Fix because they did not want to actually have to legally fix things within our city. Yet we want to put up these different cameras that charge people for speeding, and all of that goes towards our city funding, but we can't reallocate that back into the city streets.
Well, actually, the city of Albany is actually underfunded and has been underfunded. And the problem is that we're trying to make things work with not enough funding. And we're misallocating the resources that we have, and we're not addressing the root causes and supporting the grassroots organizations and making sure it funnels down to the direct community.
And I agree with that, but here's the thing, and here's what'll happen. Tom, we can put some more water on that. You ready? Every political leader is going to be offended by every part of this segment.
I love that.
Absolutely.
And wait. You want to know what's going to happen? I'm probably going to get a phone call saying that, well, we're going to need money from them soon. We got to be careful. Or, you know, you shouldn't rub this person the wrong way because they're not going to support anything that you do, or they're not going to open the door to you.
Isn't that already happening?
And that's already happening, right? Because, again...
On a city level, be clear, because I'm going to be honest. The New York State, 100% are trying. The county are trying. But the city of Albany is a problem because they always want to champion what they're doing to diminish the organizations that are breaking their backs, hurting their families, and almost killing themselves. Some people are dead because they are sitting there making sure they're there for the community as the city abandons them.
And by the way, if the rest of the region abandons the city, it will take everyone down. This is not just the city of Albany. If you live in Queens, if you live in New Scotland, Bethlehem, Guilderland, if you're up in Saratoga, Schenectady, the city of Albany is the core of the Capital District. So goes Albany, so goes the Capital Region.
I think we'll end there. Thank you all once again for doing this. Thank you once again for your passion, and we really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.